Hi, everybody. I wanted to spend some time talking to you about troll hunting. And I think I may have mentioned this earlier in the semester, but I want to dig into it right now because we've spent quite a bit of time digging into the literacies book and into the world on paper. The key thing that I want to connect to in the world on paper here is how much David Olson insists that the way that we interact around print has changed the way we think, and I think that's nowhere more apparent than how the ways print is showing up in the 21st century are actually changing the ways that we think and interact too. So when the social interactions change, when the purposes change, there are going to be cognitive changes that start to get shaped and worked on by the technology that we use. So in the past, if that technology was paper and books and so on, that's going to shape things in a particular way. But that all depends on the actual interactions that we have around that. So I know that one of the new things that we need to look at is the internet troll. And a troll, in short terms, is somebody who posts a response purely to see what the replies are like. So in the old days, these were all just like vandals, people who were out there just posting things and then kicking back to see what sort of a rise they got out of people. And it was just a way of being provocative and just having some entertainment fun with the way the internet works and poking fun kind of at people who really don't know how the internet works, that there are anonymous people out there who are just saying things to say them and to have fun with each other and not necessarily to engage in the topic at hand. So the norms around interactions are changing, and if we're not watching those closely, then we're not part of the thinking that is emerging. And I think that's particularly true for those of us that were born in the 20th century, that we don't understand the way that these things work. So I'm on Politico.com because it's easy to find trolls there. So I'm just going to go to a place here. So these are some trolls I found last month when I was first starting to prepare this idea. So a fairly inflammatory topic and obviously a fairly partisan topic. And I can pick partisan topics from any sort of perspective. But once I've opened up this situation here, the comments bar, this is a type of interaction that we never had before. So we have it now because bloggers started opening up this comments bar thing back in the early 2000s, and news outlets began to realize that this is what people wanted, was the ability to come in and comment. Not too long after that, the trolls started appearing. So let's see. I've got a few people here that I've found that I think are trolls, and I'm just going to do a search on them because I did this a while back and wrote it down in my notebook. Let's go find this. Okay, so this guy, Eric Babalola. So GOP con artists are just amazing, blah, 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 blah. So one of my first clues here is that wow, we got all of this inflammatory comment happening underneath it. And so I want to know, is this person real? One of the first things that I look at is I just see this little icon over here. It's not a typical Facebook account when somebody has that. So, and it says, I support the FBI. So a really clearly political sort of Facebook profile. Now watch what happens if I click on this person. Just a sec. Okay, so I've got this Eric Babalola. He has sort of a typical copy and paste generic profile photo. This is his only past photo, which is also something that looks like it's just been copied from the internet. If I look at his posts, the posts are all from November 2019. Every single post, almost all of them from the same day, November 12th, 2019. So this is good evidence that this person has been manufactured on or around November 12th, 2019. So when they talk about a troll farm, it's a place that has people going in and actually growing these Facebook profiles that can then be used to go troll people. So what else about it? His about line here seems made up. Friends can be amassed. Some of the trolls that I've found don't even have any friends, but this is a small sort of friends list, and the way a troll gets friends is that they put together their profile, and then they just start sending out friend requests, tons and tons of friend requests, and within a day or so they can get about this many friend requests accepted. So let's just keep scrolling down. Looks like maybe about 100 friends. Does it tell us how many? It doesn't tell us how many up at the top. I see that a lot of trolls have about 75 to 100 friends, so that doesn't seem as made up, but not a ton of friends. It looks like this was assembled by just somebody sending out sort of random friend requests. One of the things that I tend to look for in a real Facebook account is I try to find people from the same last name and people with similar about information, like they went to the same high school or they live in the same city or something like that. So those are some of the key things that you want to look for in a troll. So I'm going to come back to this article, and not just this guy, but a couple of other guys in this article. So Mike Bush. Well, I'm not finding him. He might be kind of tucked away. So here's another one that I found. Kevin Neal. I'm almost certain. So this quote, "Is it possible for Lindsey Graham, misspelled, to debase himself further?" So clearly somebody coming from the side that is criticizing the Republican position here. If we click on Kevin Neal, no photo, and then let's look at the dates here again. November 12th, November 12th. Oh, look, almost the same photos and articles that we saw in the previous profile. So Eric Babalola, Kevin Neal seem really likely to be people that were invented by the same troll farm. The about, nothing there. Friends, same situation. Looks like people from just random places have clicked accept the friend request. And then likes Pete Buttigieg. Very interesting. So they've gone at least far enough as to kind of try to make this person look like they're a Democrat Party supporter. So let's go ahead and go back to this. So Mark Wheeler is another one that I found. Let's see if he's here still. Mark Wheeler. So the quote, "Look at that picture, name. I don't understand why Trump needs to flush his toilet 10 to 15 times when all he needs to do is grab Lindsey Graham by the collar and pull him out." So a really inflammatory sort of comment designed to get people who are already in this kind of thinking to join the echo chamber here and see what happens. But if we click on Mark Wheeler, again, this photo, very generic, could have been pasted from anywhere. Temporary profile picture makes him look like a veteran. You've got deer hunting and veteran pictures, flags, all things that would look okay in a Facebook profile. But just not much here. So enough stuff to make it kind of look like a real person, but not enough to make it really feel like an actual person. This one, fairly old and probably well developed. I'm not 100% positive that this is a troll, but I'm pretty positive that we've got a long-standing troll here. So let's see some of the friends and so on. Start looking at these friends. Kind of makes you wonder, are these also trolls in here? So not sure about this one. This is possible that it could be a real person, but there's some evidence here that this person is also a troll. So hunting the trolls is interesting because you find this sort of inflammatory comment and then you can go and check. Clearly, this is a troll type comment, just looking to get this sort of response, but also not 100% sure that this would come from a troll farm. So I'm just going to go to an article from today. So this is an article that I looked up. Former justice employees urge Barr to resign. Looks like a fairly inflammatory sort of choose sides kind of article. So I start looking through here and seeing which ones look like they might be trolls. I'm immediately looking at their photos. If they're using a fake photo, that gives me at least one clue that I can follow up on. Are they using their actual personal photo? They're not always easy to spot that way because people can just copy photos from the internet. Here's a really inflammatory comment by Mike Bush. And I've seen Mike Bush comment on dozens and dozens of Politico.com articles. And if you click on Mike Bush, I already opened it up here once. You find some pretty good evidence that we've got a fake person here. The interesting thing is that we've got the idea that this is a white guy who has found a young wife from Asia, and people are kind of putting him out there and saying, nice pic. Pun Bush, is that that's supposed to be his wife that's Asian. So you've got this whole profile going here of Mike Bush, the sportsman. And if we start looking through, though, we see that most of this profile is in a very limited range of dates. So I'm curious whether or not this is actually manufactured. So how does somebody get these pictures of someone online? There are all sorts of places, Picasa, Google Photos, where you other places where you might this person might have just posted a lot of photos online, and a troll can go in and pick them up and make a profile out of them. So what does this do to our thinking? Does it make us do things in a different way? Yeah, let's go back to this article. Somebody like Mike Bush, if it's a troll who's just trying to get a rise, this is definitely somebody who can get other people to comment. So he can get in and post reply, and really dig into it in a particular argument, and then get other people to really, really bite in. So this is a person who can get a lot of traction on the internet. Is somebody like Mike Bush, because he knows what to say to get people inflamed. The question is Mike Bush an actual guy named Mike Bush in the United States somewhere, or is this somebody sitting in an office building somewhere whose job it is to make a whole bunch of profiles and to get a lot of hits? Okay, so let's go back to, let's see, where did I want to go? I'm going to go to Facebook again. So I'm going to get in my Facebook, and I'm going to open up a friend of mine who is a graduate of our program, master's program, a number of years back. And some comments that showed up. He's one of my Facebook friends, but he made some comments on our state senator's page a little while back. Sorry. He's a music teacher, but really kind of interested in politics. Here we go. So Senator Rob Woodward from Senate District 15 posted this issue about school teachers' salaries. So let's see if I can find there we go. So this posting right here has 29 comments on it, and I made a comment, Tom made a comment, and you can kind of see what my position was on this particular bill. School funding, big issue. So when we start scooting down here, here's where I found the troll. You've got this guy, Johnny Barrett, who comes in and says the CEA is the problem. That gets 14 replies. Let's open them up. My friend Tom immediately jumped in and said 12 years of this, blah, 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 and 29 other people jumped in and replied to Johnny Barrett. Now I'm going to click on Johnny Barrett. Very little evidence that Johnny Barrett is a real person. He's got about 4 photos that were found probably from the internet of lawns and sunsets. Friends, no friends to show. About, nothing in about. Timeline, an updated cover photo. Could be real, but maybe not. So September 1st, 2010. Just a little bit of evidence that this might be a real person, but not much, just not much there to see. So troll hunting. So let's think about this. This is just me looking at Facebook and some news commenting areas that 2 different ways that our interactions are starting to be shaped in different ways. So think about Snapchat, think about Instagram, think about TikTok, think about all of the apps that we're using today that are shaping the sorts of interactions that we have with people. And how that's changing the social literacy. How does it change the power dynamic? How does it create values and so on? So I just wanted to put that out there, and let's think about that as we come to our face-to-face meeting next week. I want to spend some time talking about online interactions and the ways they're shaping the world on the screen for us.